We've seen some of our fellow creators talking about burnout lately. And in this video, we wanted to talk about it and also talk about some ways and steps that we're taking to help avoid burnout. So you're gonna wanna stay tuned.
But first of all, to all of our fellow creators, we wanted to say, you're doing a great job.
You are, and we appreciate everything that you guys are doing week in and week out. You put in a ton of work and it shows. So thank you for all you're doing and don't stop.
So let's talk about what burnout is. What's the definition of burnout?
Yeah, and burnout is really when you just become overly exhausted with work or with maybe a situation, but just something where it has become overwhelming and exhausting and you're just burned out.
We've all been there.
So really kind of at the crux of the matter, one thing that we've seen and have just kind of been learning along the way is you can use the phrase burnout or burnt out and really life-work balance. It all kind of is the same thing that we're talking about. If you're out of balance in one area, you're gonna be feeling burnt out in another area. And so when you look at this whole situation, really the key is finding balance in life and work and just everything that you've got going on. And that can also be kind of tricky because there's a lot of things that can make you feel out of balance. So balance really isn't so much about trying to find more hours to get more done as much as it is about finding peace and fulfillment in the way that you're using the hours that you already have available to you.
Yeah, so balance isn't about, doing more or less, or about doing 50% work or 50% family life.
It's really about doing the right thing at the right time.
One great example would be training for an Ironman. You wouldn't say, boy, that guy training for an Ironman is completely out of balance. What they're doing is spending a lot of their time weightlifting, training, eating correctly, having good balanced meals.
And it'd be really easy to look at somebody in that season and say, wow, they are way out of balance. They're way consumed with that. Like, this is way too much time doing that. But it's the right thing at the right time for their goals and their season of life of what they're doing. They are perfectly in balance. So another example that I can really relate to, because you can tell we've run lots of Ironmans in our lives, but being a new mom and just what that experience is like when you have a newborn, oh my gosh, you are literally spending all of your time doing just a few things between feeding and changing and nurturing and then just trying to catch a few hours of sleep here and there. And there's no time for anything else. There is literally no time for a social life. It's not the time to try to start a new business venture or anything like that. All of your time is literally consumed with taking care of this little baby. And it would be very easy to say, okay, well, you're way out of balance, but you're taking care of what matters most in that moment and you're doing the right thing at the right time. And that is balance. So it would be easy to look at any of these situations and feel like, wow, that person's gonna get really burnt out, or even think that if I was in that situation, I would start feeling really burnt out really fast. And you probably would if this wasn't a season, right? Like, you can't necessarily keep up that pace long term. So there's a lot of different reasons that people start feeling burnt out. And so what are some of those reasons?
One of the major reasons, I think, is just doing too many things. So there's no margin. They've got their calendars jam-packed with things that they need to do every day of the week. So they're just constantly running.
Yeah, and when you have no margin, boy, that just creates a lot of stress and anxiety and really those feelings of burnout.
And really another thing is just, doing the wrong things, right? So you're feeling burnt out, doing a job that you don't like, just doing things that aren't your own passion, and that leads to burnout.
You're absolutely right, because when you think about it, it doesn't matter how much money you're making in a job if it is not something that you're finding fulfillment in, you're gonna start feeling burnt out pretty fast. Sometimes when you find yourself in that scenario of life where it's something, it feels like it's just a drain, it can really be one of those things where you can start to feel burnt out fairly quickly.
So another reason would be just not doing the right things, right? So you've probably heard of people say that, oh, I really wish I had time to go to the gym, or I'd really love to spend time and ride my bike, and I just don't have time for that. That can lead to burnout.
I know if I don't do the right things for me, as far as being able to just decompress and take 30 minutes to just dive into a really good book or something that helps me just recharge.
Right.
It's very easy to start feeling burnout. You read books?
I do. Yeah. I love books. You didn't know that because I'm alone reading the book.
So really, when we look at this whole thing of burnout and balance, and then the key is making sure that we're doing the right thing at the right time. And kind of what that looks like for us is what?
Full-time RVing isn't quite for us or our family in the season that we're in right now, because our kids, being the ultra extroverts that I call them, need to be able to interact with other kids, other families, and that's how they recharge. You know, if they don't have that, they start malfunctioning. So being out all the time, being at different campgrounds, some of them that don't have kids for them to play with, no structure of, you know, every week we go to baseball and we get to go hang out with friends. You know, that doesn't work for them. So that's why having a home base and a place that we can call home for a season is for us.
And really what that then means for us is more enjoyable times of RVing, because we still RV very, very regularly.
Right.
We RV on an extended basis during the summer months. So by having a home base, and then part of the reason we moved our home base to the state of Florida actually means that we're able to RV more often and still maintain that home base, because we go out on the weekends, we go out on extended breaks. Our home base turns into a vacation rental when we are out RVing on an extended basis during the summer months. But for us to be able to not experience burnout, we need to be able to have a place that we can come to where we can have kind of some space for our family to spread out, for our kids to have their own space where they feel like that they can just kind of have their sense of autonomy, if you will. And for them, sports and other extracurricular activities are very, very life-giving for them, and it helps them to be healthier individuals and to recharge and to be able to learn skills of just kind of how to work together with teams as well. So for us, the right thing at the right time in avoiding burnout is to be maintaining a home base while still living RV life.
Yeah, and then we get to look forward to every time we go out and on an adventure. It's kind of an ebb and flow. So that way, you know, like every season, right? Spring, winter, you're always looking forward to the next season. And so we love it. We love that structure.
Although here in Florida,
yeah,
it's endless summer, baby.
Endless summer.
That's why we moved here.
Love it here.
So if one of the keys to avoiding burnout is doing the right thing at the right time, then it's pretty important that we're aware of things that steal our time.
Number one.
Alphabetically, no, just kidding.
Right. So really, like the need to be loved or liked, right? Are we doing things because, you know, we want other people to like us, or, you know, posting on social media just to get the validation, or, you know, see how many likes we get?
Boy, that's a big one as far as what is our motivation and even how we spend our time on social media. And I've even found myself doing things out of that then make it where I have no margin, right? So for example, maybe volunteering for something that I really don't have the time for, but boy, I really like it when other people like that I'm helping, and so therefore I want to say yes to maybe doing something that I should in effect be saying no to, because now all of a sudden I've lost all my margin.
Yeah, and that's really kind of your personality, though, is to be useful, too. So that can be a detriment to you and your personality as well. So you have to know when to say no.
Yes.
So really, the way I look at it is, if it's not a hell yes to me, it's a no. So that's kind of how I've dealt with this.
So reading
Do you want
books
to
and
go
drinking
to
beer is
Dairy Queen? Hell yes. Do you want to
Mow the lawn?
Mow the lawn? Maybe, maybe not, depending on the day. The number 2 time suck is really the need to impress others.
I totally fell into this trap as a young mom because, man, just try to plan a birthday party for a 2-year-old and then take a look at Pinterest and you're gonna realize you are not measuring up if you don't have the Pinterest perfect birthday party. But let's talk about that as it relates to RVing, because there's a lot of really nice Instagram pictures of RVs that are out there, or the epic campsite at the campground.
Oh yes, everybody, you guys know these people that lay everything out, right? They've got the sign with their last name, the flowers, the rug.
And if this is you doing the right thing at the right time,
shaming it,
then you are 100% where you need to be.
Yes.
But that takes way too much time for us.
Our season is throw out the rug, put down the camp chairs, maybe the grill. We're done.
Well, we ditched the Blackstone, so no more grill for us
now
anymore.
We don't even need to do that.
Nope.
So every time we go out, we become more minimalistic.
No need to impress others going on here.
What you see is what you get with us.
Pretty much.
What about number 3?
So another way that we just get sucked of our time is when we feel deep down the need to prove ourselves. And it's really easy for just someone with my personality who's fairly driven to fall into that trap. But really, again, that makes us overwork and it makes us overcommit. And then now we're at a place where we have lost margin because we've got this thing that's deep down inside where we really feel like, oh, I've got to prove myself in this scenario, instead of being peaceful and content with who you already are.
So number 4 is the need to feel accomplished, right? Anybody guilty of that out there? I am. I've got my checklists that I like to check off. Sometimes I put something down just to check it off. Let us know down below if you've done that before. Number 5, the need to escape.
Oh boy, this is a big one, and I think that we're all guilty. I know I'm guilty, and one thing that I recently learned is there's a big difference between recharging and escaping. And I was doing some research in preparation for this video, and I actually ran across some information that said the average smartphone user touches their phone 2,617 times a day. A day. That is a lot of times that you just, out of habit, are picking up your phone. And social media, I mean, hello, TikTok is just, I've gotten sucked into that one too many times and then realized, oh my gosh, like, this has totally been a time suck, but it's just a mental escape.
Got the songs running through your head the rest of the day.
And I'm not recharged after that experience, right? It just sucked my time. I was trying to escape. And then now here I am where I've lost this amount of time and literally have nothing to show for it, not even a set of recharged batteries.
Another good example of recharging versus escape would be like, escape would be to go watch Netflix because you've had a bad day. And then an example of recharging would be going to ride your bike, right? Just to get the endorphins going and kind of recharge.
Or whatever recharging looks like for you, which for all of you, it's gonna be something different, but there's definitely a difference when you sit and you think about it of a recharge versus just that escape. A lot of this information that we're giving to you guys actually is contained in a book by an author called Christy Wright, and we'll have a link in the comments to this book below, because a lot of this we learned from her book. But the interesting thing is, as I was going through her book, a lot of these things were things that we've kind of been implementing anyway. So why don't you tell them what number 1 is on the path to balance and avoiding burnout?
Yeah, really it's deciding what matters. That's the number one, because like Charity was saying, we recently had a couple businesses going on and multiple things that we were juggling, and it was just too much.
And really in deciding what matters too, so much of that, you have that in a business sense, but then you also have that in a personal sense too. So for us, what really matters is our faith first, right? We are believers, so we prioritize our faith. We prioritize our marriage. We prioritize our kids and our family dynamic. And so whenever we're looking at, okay, what really matters, it's always those three things first before that we start to look at all of the other things.
And number two is really stop doing things that do not matter.
Which is why we sold our businesses, which is why that we don't full-time RV any longer, because we had to stop doing those things that really didn't matter as much to prioritize what does matter. And of course for us, again, faith, marriage, family being the top three things, then business and so forth. Sometime we should do like a candid video and we should ask the kids if they think we're really good parents. I'm just curious as to what their answer would be. Those videos where you anyway.
Yeah, that would be fun.
That'd be a fun video. If any of you run into our kids, you'll have to just ask them what they think of us and then let us know. It'd be funny.
That would be funny.
So number 3 on the path to balance and avoiding burnout is, once you've decided what matters, once you've stopped doing what doesn't matter, is then make sure that your schedule is created around those things that do matter, and that those things that matter are protected within that schedule. So one of the ways that we've done that with our business, with Grateful Glamper, because there's a big crossover here, obviously, between our business and vlogging and our family life. And so we really have prioritized that protection of what matters, where there are times that we go out and we have an adventure, or we go to the beach, or we do different things that we don't have pictures for and we don't put in videos, because we're really protecting just that time. And then also when we are creating videos, when we are snapping pictures for social media, things like that, we're really trying to make sure we're doing it in such a way that it's just a natural part of what we're doing anyway. We're just rolling the camera as we're doing it. So the last thing on the path to balance and avoiding burnout is
to really be present for what matters.
This has been a big one for me just as of lately, where I've realized how much time that I really do spend on my phone, and I'm not just present in the moment for what really matters. And so I have made a concentrated effort to make sure that when I am on my phone, because obviously we're content creators. I mean, this is what we do, right? We come to you guys, we want to know what you guys are saying. We're having this conversation with all of you. And so I have to put some time into being connected, but I really tried to prioritize the time that I spend being connected versus the time that I'm spending being disconnected from you, to be present with our family. So if you'd like to read more about this, pretty much everything that we've talked about is contained in the book Take Back Your Time from author Christy Wright, and we'll have that link below on Amazon. But definitely a great read, a very easy read that talks about a lot of the things that we just talked about in this video here as well.
Yeah, so we really wanted to emphasize again that to all the fellow creators out there, that you guys are doing an amazing job. We understand how hard it is to have a YouTube channel, to create content, to keep up with everything, reply to everyone's comments, and a lot of times you can't even get to everyone's comment, right? But you're doing an awesome job, and we wanted to let you guys know that are watching this, ways that you can support all the content creators out there, because just a little bit goes a long ways when it comes to supporting the content creator out there that you guys watch, including us.
So of course there's always the ways that you can support them that require something of you, such as maybe purchasing a product through one of their affiliate links, supporting them through whatever paid membership platform they have, whether it's Patreon, like our insiders group, or whether it's a YouTube community. There's always those ways that you can support your creators, but there's also some ways that you can support them completely for free too.
Yeah, and those include liking the videos and commenting, engaging with the videos, so they know that you're watching, and that you're there and you enjoy their content. Sending an email, just, we received a couple emails this last week of people just reaching out and saying, hey, you guys are doing a good job. And that really helps us to make us want to continue to create content for you, that you guys are enjoying it. Subscribing, right? Don't just subscribe, hit that bell to get notifications for the content creators that you really love. Those are just some free ways that you can support content creators like us and other creators out there.
And if you're some of those people that have left us comments or sent us emails, like, we really appreciate that. It totally makes our day. It means the world to us. It really encourages us to keep going and doing what we're doing. And another way that you can support your favorite content creator absolutely free is if you see a video and you know somebody or feel like that somebody would find that information useful, use that share button and send that person the link to their video and just let them know, hey, I ran across this video and I really like this particular creator, saw the info they had, thought you might find it useful as well. And to be able to do that helps out your favorite content creator and it costs you nothing. So a few quick things we wanted to let you know about is we have merch where you can show others that you also prioritize experiences over things. So you can check that out on our website. We'll have the link for that below at gratefulglamper.com/shop.
And guys, these are super comfortable. They are Bella canvas and they're soft and warm. I love them.
Very cozy, cozy for some cold weather. Even if you're in
impressed.
Florida, it can get a little chilly at night. So that's why we've got the sweatshirts on today. And then we've got some cool opportunities coming up in December and January. So what's going on in December and January?
So we've got a couple of things. We are going to be at the Tampa RV show.
We are, and we are going to have some specific times and some specific locations where we do want to say hi to every single one of you. And so be looking for that on social media. But also, if you want to get notified of that via email, go to our website, scroll down and click the Stay Inspired button, and we'll make sure that we get that information out to you via email as well. So in December, for our insiders, we are having our very first insiders meetup in Winter Garden, Florida. So if you're an insider, make sure that you've checked out the posts in both Patreon and our insiders Facebook group. And if you're not yet a Grateful Glamper insider, we'll have a link below to join our insiders group as well, because we have a ton of fun things that are always happening in our insiders group every month. We want to say a huge thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Campground Views. We love campgroundviews.com because let me tell you, with a big RV like the one that's behind us, it has become more important than ever to kind of know what we're getting into before we get into it, because it's easy to have a boo-boo in this bad boy back here if you don't know that the campground that you're going to's got the space that they say that they have. And we also love staying in the national park campgrounds and national forest campgrounds. And so Campground Views has become our new go-to tool before that we book, to be able to take a virtual tour of the campground and actually physically see what that site looks like, if there's any large rocks in the way, trees, cement pylons, all of those things that could be a potential issue trying to get in the site and put out our slides. So no more kind of roll the dice and hope everything's good once that we get there, and then trying to figure out a way to maneuver around it if it's not. But with Campground Views, we're able to know before we go and book with confidence. You can check out Campground Views at gratefulglamper.com/campground views, or check them out at the link below as well. Wind and hair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where are we at now? All right, do you have another example?
The mom.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, like.
All right, go ahead.
Somebody's calling me. Not important.
Jeez Louise, I didn't realize how much I'm balding.
That's gotta go in the blooper reel. You and your balding head.
Dang.
Okay.
Hi.
Okay.
Can you please put that in like the bloopers?
Yes.
Sure.
Go. Okay. So if one of the keys of a
Do you want to go to Five Guys? Hell yes.
Okay, we're digressing. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we're
I touched my microphone.
minimalist. It's okay. That's all right.
Yeah. Why does there always have to be a plane? Where you can also just show others that you do what?
You know those little things on the bottom of the toothpaste, like that color stripe?
Did you guys watch some sort of video on hacks or something?
Yes. No. And Mom, do you know that the fuel tank is on this side of the car? Tank is on.
Okay, we are just about ready to wrap up, so can you go back inside for just a minute? Okay.
Okay, are you sure?
Family dance party. Ready? Go.
No.
And we'll go.
Alaska wants to get in on this. So if you're gonna be coming to Florida and you wanna find some things that you can do, some cool springs, some awesome beaches, we put together a few videos right here that I think you're gonna enjoy.
And right over here, we've got some videos of places to get things for your RV that you might not have thought about.
Don't forget to subscribe right here and check us out on Instagram right here. And if we don't see you in the campground or out on the road, we'll see you in the next video.